are the crew from the Department of Labor Industrial Relations. These guys built this cabin in about 2 weeks of work. It's all made out of Eucalyptus Seligna logs. It was made completely with a chainsaw. For College of Ag and Forestry program, we'll turn you over to Randy Senock.
Here is a pretty unique project in the state of Hawaii. We're looking at a total integrated project here. We're trying to do sustainable forestry, but more importantly, we're trying to use forestry to do sustainable community development. Again, as Joseph pointed out, we have these young gentlemen here who have gone through all stages of training, from safety and forest harvesting operations to wood product production. Taking these trees right off site and making a cabin, what more could you ask for in that? If this really does turn into a viable industry, construction method in that, then of course you've contributed to economic development on the Hamakua coast and the state of Hawaii in general. We have workforce development. We have students from the College of Agriculture, Forestry, and Natural Resource Management. This is a field lab, the natural laboratory of Hawaii. Students are brought out of here in all the forestry courses where they're taught the basic techniques. We do a lot of science out here, measurements. We sample the trees, we sample the soil, that. The design of these buildings in this concept is of course due to Joseph Dalrymple here. We wouldn't have been able to do this without him.
These logs are cut right from the site. They're peeled and then cut to length. They're notched, and this building is held together with rebar, reinforcing rod cut to 12-inch, 14-inch lengths. So the whole thing has been completed with hand labor and hand tools, except for the chainsaw. So we're glad to say this is the 5th of May, and we just put the roof on today. The style of this cabin is what you call the butt and pass method. This log butts into this one and it passes by. The next level, this one passes by, the other log butts into it. So the reason we did this is because it only takes one notch on each log to do this. And then we have rebar spiked into these holes to hold the logs together. So there's rebar in here and rebar in here and there's rebar in there. It's all held together with a reinforcing rod that is drilled and pounded into the holes. So it's very secure. So we started out on cement pier blocks and laid out the whole cabin. The floor is made from milled 2x6s and 2x8s of Eucalyptus Seligna. This door is milled out of 2x6s of Eucalyptus Seligna and held together. The planks are held with reinforcing of 2x6 Seligna also, with nails and bolts. So it's a pretty solid door. This was done on my sawmill in Pahoa.
This building right here will be just a temporary storage facility, but after this building we're going to build a larger log cabin down there a ways, and what this actually field will do is that this will be the base camp for the introduction to a community demonstration forest.
These trees are Eucalyptus Seligna. They were planted about 20 years ago by C. Brewer Company, a C. Brewer subsidiary, Bioenergy Development Corporation. Most of them in this area are up to about 16 inches in diameter and 120 to 30 feet tall. So we are using larger diameter ones for the base of the cabin and mostly the 8-inch section for the walls of the cabin. We're looking at the foundation of our log cabin. We are starting with 12-inch diameter logs resting on a foundation of 8-inch cement blocks, and we have a flashing of metal in between. The floor will be made out of 4-inch thick planks of Eucalyptus Seligna. In fact, all of the logs in the building are Eucalyptus Seligna. What's left over from milling and debarking, we hope to chip it and use it for mulch around our plantings of new trees. So these are spiked down on notches in our large logs. The walls we hope to make 8 feet high in this area, and we'll have some very large windows, 12-foot by 4-foot windows. On the ends of the logs, to prevent checking, we have metal log savers to clamp the log together. These are fresh peeled logs. We peel them just before we put them up. Some of them were peeled several months ago and have grown a little bit of mold. They'll have to be cleaned with Dex wood, oxalic acid, or bleach. But they're all very solid. We are trying to get 7 to 9 inch diameter logs, and 8 is the ideal, but almost all the logs taper about an inch in 18 feet. This building will be 56 feet long and 37 feet wide. It's in the shape, the floor plan is in the shape of a cross, like a red cross. The center section will have a loft in it. So we're working towards the completion date, hopefully by June sometime.